cost of living overall has gone up. And yes, the cost of certain healthy things have gone up. But if we're honest with ourselves, the cost of snacks and a lot of unhealthy things have also gone up. So what we're dealing with, yes, it is a cost issue, but many times it is an issue of habit, what we are accustomed giving to our children. I share this story all the time because I tell people when I had my son, I was not a doctor, I was a medical student. Yes. And so my income was zero and very limited resources to give snacks. And one of the things that I did is that I gave my son half of an apple as a snack. And as he got older, he got a whole apple. So I said to parents, yes, you might want to buy a pack of chips that costs $1.25 to $2.50, $2.75, $3 sometimes. But it is oftentimes cheaper to go into the supermarket and buy a bag of 10 apples, which I know for a fact still sells for $6, and give the child that apple. We don't live in an ideal environment. The list was created, like we said, in 2021, and we are looking to update it again. Yes. But many of the things that we have found, because some of these things are things that I personally purchased and I know for a fact are still more reasonable than the more expensive alternatives. We've been asking the government to look at creating concessions and ways in which healthy food can become more available. And that's something that we will continue to do. We have to do that because it's not just in the schools, but it's a whole of society approach. However, in the interim, what we're asking parents to do is don't throw away the list and say, oh, it's too expensive. A lot of people have said that and have not really looked at the list, or they haven't gone into the supermarket and really compared. That's what we have found. And when you start to talk to them and you point out, like Nicole AB did this morning, well, this pack of chips that we approved is actually cheaper than what you've been buying. They realize, well, there's truth in what they are saying. So this is not to push aside people and say, oh, healthy foods are not as expensive. They are expensive, but it's a matter of what you choose to buy. Bananas, apples, certain local fruit are still in some instances more reasonable. I know I said did not say cheap, but more reasonable than a lot of the packaged things that we buy. It's a major problem. What Heart and Stroke Foundation, Barbados, the Childhood Obesity Prevention Coalition, what we've been doing over the years, we've been doing a lot of education. So going into PTA meetings, we are always open to have PTA meetings. But it is going to be a lot of education. And I tell you what, people think that we should start in the homes, but the reality is that children believe what their teachers tell them. I have a child and I know Samisi will come home, he will say, my teacher said X, Y, Z, and that is it. So a lot of what our teachers model before them, and we've heard powerful stories of children who have changed their home environment because of what was taught in the school. The parents have to say, well, I can't afford to buy the unhealthy things for me and the healthy things for you. And they actually started to buy healthy things for the entire household. So yes, we need to interact with the parents, and we're doing that. We're open to PTA meetings, any form that we can teach parents, we're happy to do that. But we recognize the powerful influence of the school on society as a whole, and that is why it is a really good target. So let's not downplay that influence. Yeah, it's a big deal on a meeting like this because we need teachers to be on board because they're going to be modeling that behavior before the children. When you look at cost, cut back on the soft drinks. Soft drinks are now very expensive. Juices are very expensive. Provide a water bottle and let your children drink water. Children will acquire a taste for it. I know for sure my son did. He did not like the water at first, but with time and persistence and saying nothing else but water and putting that water bottle in the fridge, he now comes home and automatically goes to the fridge for his water bottle. It is hard. I know, I'm a mom. It is hard for me sometimes to find the healthier things, but I have to put in the effort. We have to put in the effort, and I want to say it can be done. The other tip that I give to parents, just basic budgeting advice. We have a culture in Barbados where we eat out a lot on the weekends, so we end up spending enormous amounts of money at the fast food chains. Now, we say that healthy foods have gone up, but look at any of the major fast food chains, especially the ones with drive-thrus, and see that all of their things have gone up as well, including their kiddie meals. And yet, the drive-thrus are full, and we are purchasing these things for our children. And I say to parents, the money that we spend on those items, if we can cook at home and save that money, then we can turn around and spend that money in the supermarket to buy the healthier alternatives that we're talking about. So it's not that we don't sympathize and we don't empathize and we don't understand. There are people that will be in dire circumstances at the very, very lowest level. A pack of popcorn, and I mean the popcorn that you pop at home, is exceedingly cheap at the supermarket. And that can serve a child for a week's worth of snacks. And now we've taken the shame out of it. The child doesn't have to feel like I poor, so I can only bring popcorn. But what you can tell the child is this is what's on the list. This is what is allowed. Is this the digestive biscuits that we talked about that are lower in sugar? Those are cheap. I can tell you that for a fact. So we have provided alternatives for people across the spectrum. So what we're saying to people, we've provided a list of alternatives. Some of them are very cheap. Some of them might be a little bit more pricey than the cheaper versions. But if you put in the effort and you're willing to, to make a change, that's where it is. You're willing to make certain sacrifices as it relates to not having fast food and treats as often, then you're going to find it a lot easier to be able to afford the healthier alternatives that we are talking about.